Hey guys, Trent coming at you again with another deck tech here. This time we're going to modern. Uh, Big red strategies are uh, a budget-friendly option that I really enjoy playing. And this one, and actually most big red strategies in modern and legacy involve this guy right here. My favorite planeswalker probably ever, Koth of the Hammer. Uh, right now he's down to a low $2.50 a piece on Magic Online. So now's the time to pick up a playset. I think this deck you could probably build for under 30, 40 tickets, something like that. So this is Wildfire. So the idea is to use mana rocks and ramp cards to ramp into a planeswalker, which actually is a ramp spell as well, to get into our big drops, mainly like a Wildfire or a Chandra. So first we'll go over the mana base real quick. It's all mountains, 21 mountains except for I'm trying out one Inventor's Fair. These things only cost like a penny. It's a legendary land, so I only have one. There's a lot of artifacts in here. Will we ever have three on the board at the same time? I'm not sure, but there's just one single non-mountain land. I don't think there's too much of a potential drawback to try it out. But otherwise, we want basic mountains because of Koth. He animates mountains and he adds mana equal to the amount of mountains you control. So in the one drop spot, we got a playset of lightning bolts. Obviously, just one of the premier removals in the format. Got to have early spot removal. 4 relics. We mainboard relic in this deck, and a lot of the mono red decks do. So we're naturally good against graveyard decks. And then we have a synergy with this card here, Eternal Scourge. And I'll get to that. So other removal, I'm running a couple of braids. I think it's just a good solid removal piece, and it's nice to have the option to hit an artifact. You can kill somebody's, there's a lot of humans and some merfolk running around. You can kill their vial. It's just a good spell. Some people run roast. I've seen that. I have, I think, one in the sideboard, but I'm going to go with a braid this time. So now our mana rocks at the 2-drop slot. We've got a playset of Guardian Idols. These can animate into a man rock 2/2 golem creature for only 2. So after we wildfire the board, we got these mana rocks that we can still do things with. Of course, 4 Mind Stones, just probably the best mana rock there is. We can sack it, draw a card, or we can use it to ramp. A little more removal. We got some mainboard Anger of the Gods, the best probably cheap sweeper in the format because it exiles everything. So again, we have natural. We're really good against graveyard decks. So, in the main board, we're naturally sideboarded, pre-sideboarded, not on purpose, and this is good against humans and merfolk and everything. Then we got our 2 Eternal Scourge. This is an interesting card. It can be cast from exile, and anytime it gets targeted by your opponent's removal, it immediately just, instead of going to the graveyard, it gets exiled. So if somebody bolts this, it gets exiled, and then we can cast it again from exile. We have this forever recursive 3/3 for the most part, unless it goes to the graveyard. Now, that's another reason why we have Relic. It synergizes with the Eternal Scourge, so if our Eternal Scourge dies in combat, we can just exile it from our graveyard and then cast it from exile. So, pretty nice combo. In the 4-drop slot, again, we got the main man, Koth of the Hammer. Just a really good planeswalker. Most of the time we'll be able to cast him, or a lot of times we'll be able to cast him, -2 him, and do something like a Anger of the Gods or a Wildfire, clear the board, and then keep him on 1 loyalty. So we'll clear the board and still have a planeswalker around. if we're ahead, we can start plus oneing him, crashing in, animating mountains, crashing in, and work towards that ultimate. And I'll tell you, if you ultimate a Koth in a deck that runs all these mountains, it's really hard to lose from that point. So we have to hit twice with Koth and not get hit, and we can ultimate it. One of the funnest things you can do in Modern, I think, is ultimate a Koth. So other 4-drops, we got a playset of Solemn Simulacrum. It's a ramp card. It ramps you one land, and when it dies, it draws you a card. It does so much, and it's a 2/2 body. And in this case, it's another artifact for the potential of turning on our one Inventor's Fair. So a card I'm trying out is this 5-drop here, Thundermaw Hellkite. The reason why is because in a lot of big red decks like this, you'll see Inferno Titan. That's gotten really expensive, and you may see I've forgotten what it is called now, but he's the protection for White Dragon. However, he's only a 4/4, so Wildfire will kill that dragon. This Thundermaw Hellkite actually survives a Wildfire if we cast one. And there is some Lingering Souls decks and such running around, so this is the 1 damage to all flying creatures can be relevant. So then topping it off, the namesake of the deck, Wildfire. We want to ramp into some rocks, cast this, and then be able to recover much faster than our opponent. This will cause people to concede a lot of times. And then finally, we got a couple Chandra Flamecaller. These are only like 30-40 cents on Magic Online right now. It's provides another sweeper and another finisher. And it works really good in this deck. So for the sideboard, we got some anti-affinity hate. We got 3 Bandle Blasts. We got another Abrade that works against affinity or just any deck where they're heavy on creatures like humans. We want to have extra spot removal. We got a Sudden Shocks. If there is some infect deck or just heavy creature decks, we can bring these in. It can't be responded to. Against mono red, or against burn, I should say, we got some Dragon's Claws. So not only does that help us gain life, but it does up our artifact count more too. So maybe that Inventor's Fair can double gain us some life. 2 more Anger of the Gods for the creature matchups in the graveyard and the dredge matchups. And trying this out, some Crumble to Dust. I know it's used in against like maybe red-green, I think, uses this in their sideboard. But this is to fight against the Valakut decks and Tron decks. So that's my take on Wildfire. I'm going to run it through some matches and see how it goes. It is a budget deck, but I think it can perform pretty solid. We'll see.